So the $15 minimum wage, what's going on with that right now? We already know what happened to the checks, right? Those $2,000 stimulus checks, which are now $1,400, and they shorted you. So what are they doing about the $15 minimum wage? Because again, this is something that Joe Biden ran on, okay? Which, I mean, this, honestly speaking, it even surprised me because he took, that was like perhaps the only progressive thing on his platform, which he took from Bernie Sanders. And I mean, he's not going to fight for it, is he? So here's what's going on, right? You had the Senate parliamentarian, which I think, again, most Americans don't even know what that is. And yet now it's being brought into the fold. It's being brought into the mix as an excuse as to why you can't have a $15 minimum wage. Yes. Oh, you thought Biden was gonna give it to you? No. He's gonna give it to you, but in another way. So just let me play this clip for you very quickly, okay? Forgive me, it's MSNBC. I know.
Parliamentarian has denied Senate Democrats' attempt to include a $15 an hour minimum wage in the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. This is a huge setback for Democrats who were bullish on the prospect that it would survive. President Biden, a veteran of the Senate, had signaled this could happen, and it's unclear what Democrats will do going forward. The minimum wage increase is currently in the House version of the bill, which is set to hit the floor tomorrow. Joining me now is Reverend Al Sharpton, president of the National Action Network, and the Reverend has.
Okay, I'm not going to torture you further. I just wanted you to hear the first line, right, for the Senate parliamentarian. So, essentially, okay.
Who were bullish on the prospect.
No, enough. I'm listening to George Reed all day. So she's acting like, oh my God, it's done. It's a done deal. It's game over, right? Oh no. What are the Democrats going to do now? This is devastating. It's a disaster. No, it's not. The Senate parliamentarian is it's an advisory role. Okay, it's just there to give an opinion. Okay, it's not there to give binding decisions. So this is in regards to budget reconciliation, which we already talked about. Remember, I told you that they were going to pull this trick. Because we know who these people are, the Democrats. We know who's in D.C. We knew they were going to do this. They were going to say, yeah, we'll do like the stimulus checks, which are already reduced by $600, but $15 minimum wage, oh no, we can't do that. And what's the justification? Well, they're saying now that, to do it through budget reconciliation, it has to meet certain requirements under the Byrd rule, right? And the Senate parliamentarian is telling them now, no, that doesn't work. You can't do it. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because you can override what the Senate parliamentarian says. Okay, so bear with me. This is the piece of legislation. I think Sirota posted this, right? So, I mean, you can see here, it's telling you a motion to waive the Byrd rule or to sustain an appeal of the ruling of the chair on a point of order raised under the Byrd rule requires the affirmative vote of 3/5 of the membership, 60 senators if no seats are vacant. So, do you know what that means? That means if Kamala Harris says, no, we don't care what the parliamentarian says, we're still going to go forward. We're going to push the $15 minimum wage. She can do that. And to override that, you would need 60 votes in the Senate. You're not going to find those 60 votes. So, which means that they can get away with it. They can do it. They can give you the $15 minimum wage if they really want to, but they're not going to. And I'm not saying that as conjecture. No, they're saying we're not going to overrule or override what the Senate parliamentarian said, who again is not an elected official. Their opinion is just advisory. It's non-binding. It's not legal. It's unbelievable. This is unreal, man. This is unbelievable. So now you have a joint letter that was written by Ro Khanna and 22 other House Democrats, okay, calling on the White House to ignore the parliamentarian, right, as we're talking about, and to go forward with the $15 minimum wage, to put that in the COVID relief bill. Now, I'm just going to read it to you very quickly, okay? So it says, Dear President Biden and Vice President Harris, as the U.S. continues to battle dual economic and public health crises, it is more important now than ever that we deliver relief to Americans. 81 million people cast their ballots to elect you on a platform that called for a $15 minimum wage. We urge you to keep that promise and call on the presiding officer of the Senate to refute that the presiding officer of the Senate, that's Kamala Harris, okay? And call on the presiding officer of the Senate to refute the Senate parliamentarians' advice, remember, it's just advice, on a Byrd Rule point of order, and maintain the $15 minimum wage provision in the American Rescue Plan. This is significant historical precedent. In 1967, I want to say something here before I can keep reading. The White House Chief of Staff, Ron Kane, he was on with Joy Reid, and she asked him, like, has this ever been done before? Like, overriding the advice from the Senate parliamentarian. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if it's ever been done before, but we're not doing it. You liar, you lying motherfucker. You know that it's been done before many times. You know that. You goddamn well know that. So we'll get to Ron Klain in a second. Did I say Kane? I'm mixing up with the former ambassador of the U.S. to Denmark, who's stealing oil in Syria now. He's one of the founders of Delta Crescent. His name's Kane. I meant Klain. You know, I get my war criminals mixed up from time to time. You'll excuse me. So anyway, he's giving you examples here. In 1967, Vice President Humphrey disregarded the parliamentarians' advice while pushing to reduce the filibuster threshold from 2/3 of those present to 3/5. Vice President Humphrey did the same again in 1969. Ultimately, Republican VP Rockefeller partnered with future VP Mondale and succeeded in 1975. Again, refuting the parliamentarian. Okay, so you have historical precedents for this. This is not something that, you know, something alien that they're being asked to do, right? Even though they want to play dumb and pretend like it's never been done before. So for the last 12 years, working Americans have struggled to get by under a federal minimum wage that remains stuck at $7.25 per hour. Since its establishment in 1938 as part of the New Deal, the federal minimum wage has never gone this long without a boost. In fact, its purchasing power has fallen by nearly 25% due to inflation since its last increase in 2009 under Obama, remember? As you know, this policy has disproportionately hurt women and black and brown workers. Women make up nearly 60% of hourly workers making less than $15 an hour, despite comprising only 50% of the overall hourly workforce. But hey, man, I just want to interject here very quickly. You know, I look, I don't agree with Ro Khanna. I don't agree with him. I'm sorry. You know, it doesn't matter that a $15 minimum wage would help a lot of women, because now there's a female vice president, right? And that's more important. And there's also a female heading, who's now the director of national intelligence. That's more important. It's also more important to get someone like Neera Tanden to head the OMB. Then we have the first female director of the OMB, right? And then we'll also have the first deputy director of the OMB, Shalanda, right? And then you also have the first secretary of the Treasury Secretary, who's also a woman, right? That's more important. Why would you actually, you know, improve the lives of women? No. We need more women in key positions who do nothing for the vast majority of other women, right? That's more important. That's way more important. Why, you know, let's do that first. And maybe like sometime in a few decades, we actually improve living conditions for women. Maybe, right? Wow. So the disparate impact is even starker among black and brown workers, who make up only 36% of the hourly workforce, yet work in nearly half of all jobs earning less than $15 per hour. We must act now to prevent tens of millions of hardworking Americans from being underpaid any longer. The outdated and complex Byrd Rule rooted in restricting progress must not be an impediment to improving people's lives. You have the authority to deliver a raise for millions of Americans. Thank you for your consideration. Yeah, he has the authority, right? Kamala Harris and Joe Biden can do this. Do they want to? No. Okay. So you can see here when Joy Reid is talking to Klain, right? I want to get you the exact part where they talk about it. Here we go. So Joy Reid asks the White House Chief of Staff this question. Pay attention.
Can't the vice president override the parliamentarian? Hasn't that happened in the past?
Not sure if it's ever happened in the past. Certainly that's not something we would do. We're going to honor the rules of the Senate and work within that system to get this bill passed. This is a $1.9 trillion package that is vital to getting this country in a position to crush the virus, in a position to get people vaccinated, in a position to get the schools open, and to help all those people that you talked about at the start of the show. We are going to get this package.
So you see, he's a lying dog-faced pony soldier. He's a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You see how he just lied? Said, I don't know if this is done before, but we're going to work with the rules of the Senate. What? You're the lawmakers. I mean, okay, not him specifically claimed, but you know, we're talking about lawmakers here, right? They know the rules. They can change the rules. They can override them if they want to. In this case, they're choosing not to. And he's telling you we're choosing not to. And he's lying on top of it, saying there's no precedence for this, or it's not been done before. He doesn't know. What do you mean you don't know? You're the fucking White House Chief of Staff. If I know this shit, you think he doesn't know this shit? Outrageous. What? Outrageous. And then he changes the subject. Oh, we got to deliver relief and, you know, all these people that you talked about, but not $15 minimum wage, right? I'm going to go off and talk about other nice things, but not the thing you asked me about. Oh, they're good, huh? So, hold on. We're not done. We're not done, right? Every news story is just shoveling through bullshit. That's all it is, right? We got to go one scoop at a time, right? We got to go one scoop at a time. Go point by point. So, over here, okay, you have people who are going to say now that, well, Joe Manchin, for example, right, who by the way, is opposed to Neera Tanden's nomination, and he's imperiled her nomination now. What a shame. He's also opposed to this, and you know there's an argument being made now that okay, well look, it's not just about what Joe Biden wants and what Kamala Harris wants. It's like even if they chose to override the Senate parliamentarian and keep the $15 minimum wage in the relief bill and get that done through budget reconciliation, they're saying, well look, there's not enough votes for it to get through anyway. Okay, now here is why that's a bullshit argument. Okay, you want to know why? Because just as I told you that, coincidentally, one of the same people, Joe Manchin, he doesn't want Neera Tanden confirmed to be the head of the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, right? He's against her confirmation. And because of that, there's been a scandal. You had Rachel Maddow even calling him a sexist, right? They were going, oh my God, you hate women. That's why you don't like Neera Tanden. I mean, Joe Manchin is not exactly a nice person either, right? But they conveniently ignore all of the legitimately crappy stuff about Neera Tanden, and they try to make it about sexism. No, it's not about that. She's a warmonger. She's a criminal. I mean, she's taken millions from the Emirates. She's a Zion. I mean, I'm not going to go through her whole record. We've done that. But my point here is that when it comes to Neera Tanden, they're ready to fight. Joe Biden's administration is ready to fight, even though the votes aren't there. Okay. And in the same video that I just showed you, in the same interview right now with Klain and with Reid, pay attention to what he says about Neera Tanden, right? Also, with her nomination being imperiled, okay? So pay attention to what he says here.
Would be a superb budget director. She'd be one of the most outstanding budget directors we've had. She knows policy. She knows all the how to get something done in Washington. She's a great candidate for the job, and certainly we're fighting our guts out to get her confirmed.
You heard that?
And I mean, Republicans don't care about that. I think
You heard that, huh? We're fighting our guts out. You heard it, huh?
She's a great candidate for the job, and certainly we're fighting our guts out to get her confirmed.
Well, that's great. That's wonderful that you're fighting your guts out to get this war criminal, corrupt swamp creature to head the OMB. How about you fight your guts out to get the $15 minimum wage passed? How about that one? Oh, you forgot about that, right? What about that? Are you not going to fight your guts out for that? No, Neera Tanden is more important than the $50 minimum wage. Just remind me very briefly, when Joe Biden ran for president, It's just not that long ago, okay? Was getting Neera Tanden confirmed as the head of the OMB on his policy platform, or was the $15 minimum wage on his policy platform? Which one of those things takes precedence? Which one has a higher priority, do you think? The campaign promise that he's going to give you a $15 minimum wage, or getting Neera Tanden confirmed to head the OMB? Because I'm seeing from the White House chief of staff, at the very least, but I'll get into more, a very, very stark difference in rhetoric and in motivation, right? Regarding the two issues. So we have two scenarios. We have two issues that need to get through the Senate. Both of them are lacking some votes. For Neera Tanden, they say we're going to fight our guts out. For the $15 minimum wage, we're going to work within the rules of the Senate. We don't want to override the Senate parliamentarian. Wow. So Joe Biden is fighting harder. Joe Biden's administration is putting in more energy and work to get Neera Tanden, whose idea of, fixing the deficit is to invade Arabs and make them pay the United States with their oil, to become the head of the Office of Management and Budget. But when it comes to the $15 minimum wage, when it comes to lifting millions of people out of poverty, and as we saw in the letter from Ro Khanna, improving the living conditions, improving the lives of particularly people of color, right? But anyone who's making the minimum wage, that we're just not, the energy's not there. Sorry, our hands are tied. Wow. They screwed you. Oh, they just keep coming with the hits, don't they? They just keep coming with the hits. So Ilhan Omar, at least, you know what she tweeted? Or not tweeted, excuse me, but she's said that she wants to fire the Senate parliamentarian. See, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. By the way, that's the thing you can do. Apparently, you can fire the Senate parliamentarian, which once again just speaks as to how meaningless their. Let's put it a bit more diplomatically, shall we? Which speaks to how how maneuverable their opinion is. Okay, you can go around it. You don't actually have to listen to them. You can, in fact, fire them. You can fire them. They're not elected officials. What they say is not legally binding. It's just an opinion. But the Biden administration is choosing specifically not to go that route. And they're giving you this excuse of, look at Joe Biden. He's just so powerless. He just can't do it. Oh, the votes are not there. Oh, no. The Senate parliamentarian, which most Americans have no fucking clue what that even is. The word parliamentarian, what is it even doing in the context of, U.S. politics? Most Americans don't even know what that is. They don't even know who that is. By the way, there's an excellent article. Who's this by again? You'll give me 1 second to find it, because it's really, really good. About this topic specifically, right? It's in The Guardian, okay? And it was written by David Sirota as well. Okay, I guess that was him. So I think that might be him. I'm not sure, because I have multiple articles pulled up. I think it was him. Yeah. So he breaks it down very well. And as I said, he posted also on Twitter the congressional. This what I read to you earlier, the budget reconciliation process from the Senate's Byrd Rule, right? This was updated on December 1st, 2020. So it's just 3 months ago. And they're telling you, you need 60 votes to override it if they went through with it. So there's no danger of the Republicans suddenly ruining, Biden's benevolent plan to give you a minimum wage. No. Joe Biden is choosing on purpose not to do this shit. And I want to again remind you of how they sold you Joe Biden. Do you remember during the campaign? Oh, that lovely campaign. Deep breaths, everyone. Do you remember how we kept hearing, oh no, Bernie Sanders, he's never passed anything in the Senate. He's a lousy senator. He doesn't know how to do anything. Look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he knows how to get things done, right? Joe Biden can get things done. That was the catchphrase, right? That's his selling point. Joe Biden, He can reach across both sides of the aisle, right? He can give hand jobs on both sides at the same time, cross-armed. He's so good, as a matter of fact, that he was even bragging about working with segregationists, right? Like, he's even proud that he can go as far right as you want, right? He can even work with segregationists. And even that did not apparently cost him his campaign. Incredible, right? In 2021. So the point was, Joe Biden, he's been a senator, he's been in Congress, his entire adult life. You remember when he was much younger, he said, I wanted to prostitute myself, but they told me come back later. Well, here he is. He's here. Their point was Joe Biden's been in government his entire life. He knows everyone, which is a really diplomatic and nice way of saying he's corrupt as fuck. Okay, I'm translating for you. Joe Biden is immensely corrupt because he knows everyone and he can please everyone, right? That's how you get into the White House. And so that was a selling point, right? Okay, well, now here he is. It worked. Are you happy? Joe Biden has been elected based on your selling points. So where's that magic? Where's this magic of, look, he can reason with Republicans. He can reason with Democrats. He can reach across both sides of the aisle. Where is it? I'm waiting. Don't you think that the $15 minimum wage is something that he should, use his powers for, these reaching across the aisle powers, which we heard so much about? Look, I'm not making this up. I'm not exaggerating. Look, don't you remember these headlines? Look at all these headlines, man. Joe Biden's reach across the aisle premise is the premise. Look at this. This is from June 2019, right? Joe Biden's reach across the aisle premise is the pragmatic approach. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Here's in The Guardian. Okay. Biden plans to reach across the aisle. I mean, this was a catchphrase, essentially. Okay. Can Joe Biden revive bipartisanship as president? I mean, you just, knock yourself out. Just Google that phrase and knock yourself out. You're going to find a million articles about this, right? So this is a huge talking point. Not just from his campaign, but from the media, as I'm showing you. So, and the Democrats, of course, the Democratic establishment. Oh, Bernie Sanders, he can't do it. We need Joe Biden. We need someone who's pragmatic. Okay, where is it? It's not coming, is it? It's not coming. And, by the way, speaking of Bernie Sanders, I mean, even Bernie Sanders himself, he talked about the fact that, if he were elected, they would ask him this, how are you going to get Medicare for all passed if all of these senators are against you? If, they're like, what are you going to do essentially to get these policies passed? Green New Deal, whatever it is that's on your platform, if the Senate is against you? How are you going to get things done if there's Mitch McConnell, right? They kept bringing up Mitch McConnell. So Bernie Sanders, his answer was that, well, you pressure politicians, you go to their home state, you rally the people, right? You pressure them. It's true. It's a good point. That's what you should do. That's definitely what you should do. You should call out people, especially as the president. I mean, put this into context for 1 second. We're not just talking about any president. We're talking about the most powerful president on the planet, or one of the most powerful presidents on the planet, if you want to be technical about it. But I still think the former is more true. You're telling me the most powerful president on the planet can't pressure Joe Manchin, or can't pressure any given senator to get one of his core policies through? Are you really going to make that argument to me now? Really? Why was it so important then to get rid of Trump? I thought that, Joe Biden's going to restore dignity and do all these nice things. What's the point if he's useless? I'm confused here. When it's suitable, Trump is an existential threat. That's how powerful the office of the presidency is, right? That you can bring forward the apocalypse, apparently, if you put the wrong person in that office. But when you finally get the one that they want, Joe Biden, oh no, I'm sorry, he's too powerless. He can't do anything. It's like, the House, the Senate parliamentarian ruled against it. We're sorry. What? There are two senators standing in the way. We're sorry. Oh, but for near a tandem, we're going to go balls to the wall. We're going to fight our guts out. The hypocrisy is so fucking staggering. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. And by the way, Sirota, he actually cites one good thing, a historical example here, from, when is this? What year is this? 64, right? So Johnson's trying to pass Medicare, and you have two conservative Democratic senators. It's all the same party, right? They're all right-wing. Let's not forget that. Who threatened to take down the legislation over a tax issue, okay? And so, I mean, just to get to the end of the story, They asked, okay, here you go. So they asked Smathers why he switched his vote at the last second and salvaged the Medicare proposal in 64. And he responded simply, Lyndon told me to. Oh, would you look at that? Apparently, you can actually leverage the office of the presidency against senators who are reluctant to pass your legislation and get them to change their minds. Incredible how that works, right? Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Let's just conclude. Shall we conclude? The Democrats scammed you. If you're surprised by that, I'm surprised you're surprised. But they're scamming you, okay? So they're willing to put in more effort. Joe Biden is willing to put in more effort to let Neera Tanden, this swamp creature who thinks invading Arabs for oil is a way to fix the deficit. She's an imperialist. Who thinks that, taking millions from big tech corporations and foreign powers and being a lapdog for Hillary Clinton is a good choice for the OMB. He will fight his guts out for her. That's what the administration is going to do. And keep in mind, remember, they even postponed 2 of those committee votes, right? It's not even gotten to the Senate yet. They even postponed the committee votes. They're like, no, hold on. We need to make sure we have the votes for Neera Tanden. We can't compromise on Neera Tanden. Oh no, Neera Tanden. And when it comes to the $15 minimum wage, which was perhaps one of the only, really, I mean, this is no pun intended. It's the bare minimum. Even we all know. I mean, it goes without saying, $15 is not enough, right? We know this. It should be in the $22, $25 range, and even then, you're still getting exploited. But my point here is that this is one of the only things that was on his platform that was taken from Bernie Sanders, and immediately he's showing you, yeah, I'm not going to do anything about it, and he's coming up with the most lame crap. Which, I mean, a child could, okay, not a child perhaps, but, I mean, if you can break it down pretty simply that, this is the Senate parliamentarian is not an elected official. Their word is not legally binding. You can override them, right? Oh, no, we can't do that. Oh, no, Joe Biden, all those things we said about him, how effective he is as a legislator, all those years in Congress, all his experience. He knows how to get things done. He can reach across the aisle. Oh, no, he can't do it all of a sudden. I'm sorry. Now that he's more powerful than anyone in the fucking planet, I'm sorry, all of a sudden Joe Biden, he doesn't know how to negotiate anymore. He just can't do it. We're sorry. Let's go bomb Syria. This letter over here, which Ro Khanna wrote, and it was co-signed by 22 others, okay? So you can see there's Cori Bush, there's Jamal Bowman, Rashida Tlaib, you have Ilhan Omar, and you also got AOC. You have Richie Torres, our favorite new Zionist for New York's, the 15th or 16th congressional? I don't know. I've done a couple of videos on him. We got Pramila Jayapal. We got Barbara Lee. So, we got 22 other somewhat progressive who've co-signed this. Now, my question to you is, my point here is that, do you consider this pushing Joe Biden left? I mean, if they hadn't written the letter, we'd still be complaining, and rightfully so, because, saying nothing is unacceptable. So here they've sort of said something, right? They've written a joint letter. Okay, that's a start. Does this count as pushing him left, though? I don't know. I mean, it's a start, but if you ask me personally, on this list of names over here, I mean, some of these people are very, very popular. They have huge platforms, right? I mean, I'm not sure everyone knows all of these House Democrats, but AOC is well known. She's a household name. I'd say the same for Ilhan Omar, and the squad. In general, they're household names. They have huge platforms, right? If they want to go into a live stream on Twitch, they can get 500,000 people on that. I mean, if they said let's go on strike, or let's do a rent strike, let's do a debt strike, let's do some form, any form. Let's all throw paint at the fucking wall. I don't know. Let's do some form of collective action to protest Joe Biden's refusal to override the Senate parliamentarian. Don't you think that someone with a huge platform should be doing that? Because, don't you care about giving people good wages? I don't understand. If your entire job is literally to serve your constituents and serve the American people, you have literally nothing else to do. You go into work, that's your job. It's make my life better. Make the lives, not me personally, I'm not American, but make the lives of Americans better, right? So that's your job. You're elected to do that and only that. Why would you not do something like using your platform to, I don't know, inspire some sort of collective action if nothing else works? Wouldn't you use every tool, every means available? Is that asking too much? Are we asking for the fucking moon here? Apparently, in their eyes, it is. You know, if you dare even ask that, it's like, oh my God, you're a sexist. What are you smoking, you motherfuckers? Did you read the letter or not? I mean, Ro Khanna is saying in the letter that this would immensely help specifically women and specifically black and brown people in general, right? Because they are being more exploited than anyone else. No surprise there. Absolutely no surprise there. So why don't we haul some fucking ass and do something about that, right? Wouldn't you use as much political capital that you can possibly muster? I don't know. I mean, yes, again, this letter, that's good. But Joe Biden, his White House chief of staff is saying they're not going to do anything. So you need to do something more. You have to hold the motherfucker accountable. No? Why is this a foreign concept? Like, I really don't understand that. For example, let me just give you an example. A few weeks ago, oh, now it's a few months, we're already in March, but a few months ago in the UK Parliament, okay, you had, for example, the Spy Cops Bill, the CHIS Bill, which is covert human and intelligence sources. Essentially what it does, it legalizes torture for undercover cops, right? Not just torture, any crime. Like they can commit any crime. And I've done a couple of videos on that. Just look up Spy Cops Bill on my channel, or the Overseas Operations Bill. In both cases, you've had people in the Labour Party who refused to abstain, because what Keir Starmer did is he said, I want everyone to abstain from voting, which is, I mean, it's essentially just letting the legislation through, right? Because the Tories, they're the ones who put it forward. They're all going to vote yes. And you're just abstaining and not opposing this bill. It's outrageous. And you had a few people in the party who did vote against the bill, right? So they refused to listen to their party leader. They went against, they defied the whip, okay? They got suspended for it. Why? Because they have a fucking spine. That's what you do. You don't just blindly follow the party leader, okay? You got to have a spine. You got to stick up for, I mean, the goddamn basic humanity of the people in your country as a politician. Yes, I know that's a rarity, obviously. But there are some people who have spines. And, just blindly going along with this, I mean, come on, man. There needs to be some friction over this. I mean, if you're not going to hold Joe Biden accountable over this, what are you going to hold him accountable over? They haven't said shit about him bombing Syria. I mean, they're okay. Again, it's good they wrote the letter. I'm saying it's good. It's a good start, but it's not enough because Joe Biden's not listening. He's saying they don't care. They're not going to defy, the Senate parliamentarian, which is the most garbage excuse I've ever heard. And you're just going to let him get away with that? You're going to let him get away with lying about the checks? Yeah, apparently they are. Apparently they are, man.